Okay, well, good morning, everyone. And I'd like to start off by thanking everyone. We're really glad to be part of the team here with Gem Supply. What I'd like to do is I'd like to make sure that this is as interactive as possible because if you have to sit here and listen to me talk for 2 hours, I'm going to put some of you to sleep. So, I want to make sure that we get some feedback, we get some good questions. You're welcome to unmute at any time and, ask away and we'll kind of keep this thing active and are interactive the whole time. So what I wanted to do first is just go over a few presentations. I'm going to go through them very quickly, just to give you a brief overview of Pacific Floor Care, as well as an overview of one of the programs that they have called Learn and Earn. After that, we're going to switch screens and we're going to go over to the equipment that we have here in the showroom, and we're going to go through some of the key features and how to best sell some of this equipment. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go ahead and, all right, can everybody see the screen? Can everybody see the Gem Supply Pacific logo on the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right, so Pacific is actually one of Heinz Corporation's companies. Heinz is involved with several different companies, valves and other things. And, Pacific, it's been around for 70 plus years, very highly successful, privately owned corporation. Pacific is positioned as a high value company. As you can see on the screen, a lot of the specifications are all premium, built to last, simple, easy to use. We're also dedicated to building long-term, mutually successful partnerships and focused on new products, operations, and marketing excellence, which drives, the highest value to our customers in all of those areas. So, company focus, as mentioned, new products. We do have a key focus, especially now on our core items, which are our scrubbers. But since I've been with Pacific, they've done a really excellent job broadening the line and trying to fill in where we have gaps, and also new product development to continue to fill those gaps and continue to make this line even more expansive than what it is today. We have a very experienced team. They're very thorough, and they've got a nice 5-year roadmap that's kind of laid out to help continue Pacific's growth and also the growth of our partners, because that extends over to that. As far as operations, I'll show you some slides, or there's actually one right here on the top right. You can see a little bit of the factory. The company is very focused on operations excellence, making sure that the components, the production line, everything really, is set up so that when you do have a machine, it's a high quality build that comes out of there. We're also focused on U.S. sourcing. When it comes to our products made at the factory, like our scrubbers and a few others, I would say 85 to 90% of all the components for those machines come within about an hour and a half from the factory. So we're about as close as, fully American made than I think any other manufacturer in the industry. We've also focused on expanding our rotomold capabilities. So we had 2 large rotomolding machines, and we just recently, or Heinz recently invested in another. So now we have 3 rotomolding machines at the factory. As far as marketing excellence, Pacific has done a lot very recently. I mean, I joined Pacific at the beginning of this year, and in the few months that I've been engaged with them, they've really done a lot in terms of videos and marketing support, brochures, tools, expanding the Learn and Earn program. A lot, not just to help the guys in the field like myself, but really focused on our distributors and our distributor sales reps. So As far as operations excellence, you can see on the picture to the right, you can see the rotomolding machines there, and we actually have a third one there. The assembly line, everything is very organized, very clean, and again, all high quality components. And let's see here. This is our current line now, although we have some other machines in the works. But you can see it's very scrubber focused, right? We did recently incorporate some vacuums, a wide area vacuums, backpack vacuums to kind of expand the carpet line a little bit. And where you see the question marks, we do have some pretty neat machines that we were hoping to introduce at ISSA this year. One of them being a restroom cleaner, another expanding the scrubber now to because what we have is we have a small and then we go to a 20, focusing on something that's in between to kind of fill that gap as well, and a few other machines. As far as, the marketing, we have a really nice guide that a lot of the reps, when they're emailing information to their customers, really like, because you can email them a link to this interactive product guide, and I have some hard copies that I've left here at the shop here. But you can actually click on floor machines, vacuums, and the interactive guide will actually go from page 1 to whatever that page is where that item is. So it makes it real nice and easy for your customer to view the different products, as well as through our website, where we have videos on almost every single product. So during the pandemic, when a lot of things were closed down, the company really focused on, all right, how do we get our DSRs trained? How do we get more exposure to our products? And they really invested a lot of time and effort into building some really good quality videos where your customers, you can forward them to your customers, even for yourself. You can get a really nice overview of the machines and some key features and benefits and some key selling points for your customers. So online sales training. I have another presentation that I will go over as soon as we're done with this one on the Pacific Learn and Earn program. I think this is a great program and a great way to earn a little bit more money as well. So just recently, within a few weeks, Pacific also invented in 2 client partner specialists. One is focused on the East Coast, one is focused on the West Coast. But what they're doing is basically, as customers, as we get more exposure and customers start visiting the website and they start looking at different machinery, they're tracking their all that information. When someone requests some additional information, they're actually helping to be able to get more leads that we can provide to our distributor partners. So they're also working on email blast and things like that to kind of, again, help more exposure and help with our marketing efforts, lead generations and things as such. A little bit about Pacific's innovations. Pacific has actually aligned itself with a couple of different companies, one of them being Genasan, which is out of Massachusetts, and the other one being Diamond Productions out of Canada. And they've come out with this program that has been very, very successful. We started this program with a corporate partner, Sodexo, and they've seen some really, really positive results out of this. They've decided that they're going to expand this program nationwide. And basically what it is it's you've got your machine, you've got 2 different types of chemical, or actually 3. One's for cleaning your floors, which is the Delta Ultra. The other one is the Limpo Gloss for your VCTs and all your synthetic type floors. And then you've got the Limpo Green AD, which is for your natural stones. And these are soaps. They're not detergents, they're bio-based soaps. And what they do is when you use your machine, when you use these products and when you use the right pad, you can actually eliminate burnishing altogether, which is what Sodexo's goal was. So this is another product that's available for you through Pacific, where you can implement as you see fit. And again, the soap, the way it works is as it cleans, and we've got some nice videos that I can forward to you as well, that you can forward to your customer. As the soap cleans and draws out the dirt, it leaves behind a protectant. So all floors have pores on them. Terrazzo and natural stones have bigger pores than like a synthetic floor, but they all still have pores. And the soap leaves behind a layer of protection that over the course of 4 weeks or so will leave a nice film and actually smooth out the floor, which allows for the light to be refracted a little bit better, so it gives the appearance of a nicer shine. It's not that you're adding anything that's going to make the floor shinier. You're just, it's a different way of cleaning it. And there's a lot of benefits to it. We have all these ROI calculators as well that you have access to. So when you're presenting this to one of your clients, you can, put down square footage, the area they're about to clean, and you can show them the potential savings. Our orbital technology is superior to anyone else in the industry. The eccentric hubs, the bearings, the isolators, I'll go through all of that in a little more detail as we go over the machines, but there's really no comparison. And that's why we have some of the best warranties in the industry when it comes to our orbital technology. Even, wear items, kind of like the isolators, we give you a 5,000 hour, 5-year warranty on. And again, we'll get a little more specific once we get on the machines, because then you can actually see it and it's a lot easier to cover. This is a nice feature that's a patented technology to Pacific, which is Battery Shield. And I know you guys are all very familiar with equipment and selling equipment, and you also know that one of the biggest cost items or maintenance items with our customers is batteries. More often than not, they don't get watered enough, or they put the wrong water, or something happens that causes the life of the battery to usually only last anywhere between 18 to 24 months on average, in some places even less, and some places maybe a little bit more. Well, we've got school systems that have 80, 90 or more scrubbers that have gone on 5 years without battery replacements because of this system here. And you'll get to see it as we go through the machines, but just a brief explanation of how this works. Battery Shield basically has a sensor and a needle that goes into the batteries, determines the level of water, and whenever you need to fill, a light will come on. It won't let you operate the machine until we fill that with distilled water. Once we fill that with distilled water, we can go ahead and reset the machine by turning it off and on. We are ready to go again. But without ever having to open the batteries, without ever having to have any off-gassing because they're closed, and this system here will really prolong the life of your batteries. So again, we've got a whole bunch of statistics and data that you can utilize to present to your customers. Our orbital chemical-free finish removal, we have a lot of calculators that you have access to as well. So whenever you want to present to someone, by logging in, you'll have all this information. You can just go ahead and input the data that you need to input and have something to present to the customer. This just goes on to Pacific is a relatively small company when you talk about some of the larger equipment companies that are out there, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Pacific is very nimble, and during the pandemic, they didn't sit still and wait for things to happen. They went out and they were very proactive, and came out with a lot of different programs and incentives to keep the production lines moving and to keep things going. And turned out to be a very good thing for Pacific. So one of the things that they came up with was a rental program, knowing that not every customer was going to have funds readily available, especially without with buildings closed down and things like that to purchase new machines. So they made it easier for the customer to purchase. They have a clean and pay program where we actually have metrics on the units, and the customer will only pay whenever or for the hours that they utilize the machine. So that's a program that's available. As schools were getting ready to open, they came up with a nice little program to kind of help clean the schools and help with the disinfecting. They also started a company called Pure. So this is a subsidiary of Pacific that everyone here has access to. And Pure basically has a nice little mister, which we actually have here on the showroom floor, and we'll cover in just a second. But this allows you through the extension hoses of either 100 foot or 150 foot to basically park the machine in one area and go in any direction. And because of its tank capacity, because it's electric, you can basically spray nonstop for 3.5 hours. They also partnered with a company for UVC lighting. So that's another option and another equipment that you have access to. We also have access to UV Angel. This is a nice little system where it draws the air in. Everything in the background or on top of the light, you can get it with or without a light, goes through a UVC, a high intensity UVC lighting system that disinfects everything and basically comes out as clean air. So you can eliminate up to 99.99% of pathogens in a room or space. Beyond that, also access to drones. So when we think about arenas like the Amway Arena here, we can help them by being able to spray and disinfect as much as 200,000 square feet an hour, 20 times faster than most other cleaning methods. So that's basically just a nice little introduction. The slide was a lot bigger, or the presentation was a lot bigger, but I just kind of shortened it down to what I thought was relevant. And let me talk to you a little bit about the Learn and Earn program before we go ahead and go on to the equipment. Any questions while we transition over to the other slide? Any questions so far?
Yeah, I have a question. The battery shield, is that proprietary?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
What was that, Don?
How are you going to set us up for logins? Are we all going to have one, or is it just a company login?
Okay, so no, that's good. So basically, as far as login, I'll actually cover this, but you'll go through and request a passcode, and Jamie, more than likely, will send you one, and you'll have access to everything.
I'm going to get your login done because you've already sold a bunch of stuff. Take like your point.
He's my login. I call him.
All right, so can I make this bigger? How to put it into presentation mode? Or is that it?
That might be it.
Okay, that's fine. Can everybody see the screen now?
Yes.
PowerPoint. Okay, so this is our Learn and Earn program. I think this is a really neat program. Everybody wants to make a little bit more money, and Pacific, again, through this Learn and Earn program, that we have a lot of videos that you would basically watch, and it gives you some key features, some key pointers on how to sell the equipment. After watching a brief video, usually on average about 6 minutes or so, 6-7 minutes, you take a 10-question test. Now you have to get all questions right to be able to get your certificate, but if you miss a couple, you're able to go back and take the test again until you get all 10 correct. So let's see here, I don't know that I can make this any bigger, but as far as registering, you would basically visit our website, and on the top right of the website, you're going to see an area where it says log in. You click on that, and that will send your information to Jamie. She's one of our client service specialists, and Jamie will go ahead and send you an email with a passcode, so that way you can have access. Now, once you have access, once you're registered, you're going to have access to, as it stands right now, 14 videos. We've not added the rider scrubbers just yet. It's something that we're working on, and hopefully we'll have up there soon. But again, you're going to go ahead and watch these videos, and you're going to take a test, and after that test, you're going to get a certificate. As an example, if you watch the video on the vacuum, every time you sell a vacuum, you're going to get a $15 spiff. You have typically 90 days. The program is set up so that you have 90 days, but for GEM, what we've done is, when you go through and watch all these videos, you're going to have through the end of the year. So a little more than 90 days to go ahead and, sell as much equipment as you can, and you're going to get spiffed on every piece of equipment that you sell. Some of them have some pretty nice incentives. So if you look at scrubbers, you're looking at anywhere between $150 to $325 on our scrubbers, and you get spiffed for every single machine. You have mini scrubbers, $50, a mister $50, $75 on the extractor, the wide area vacuum, $15 on the vacuum. So it's a really nice program where we can make quite a bit of money. And here is the additional items, and you can see the spiffs on those. Even orbital floor machines, you can see $75 on that, and even a typical floor machine, just $35 on that. So there's a form, and I have some forms here, but there's also when you log in, you can also see the form where you track everything. So every time you sell an item, just track it. You write down the invoice number on it, and you submit it. So once you submit it, you get refunded or paid for every item that you sold from now to the end of the year. Any questions on the SPIF program, on the Learn and Earn program?
The payment comes to each individual person that fills out the form?
Yes, sir. So the payment will go directly to the sales rep.
1099.
1099, yes. Mm-hmm.
Is it retroactive?
Well, for the stuff that we've already planted seeds on, I'll see what we can make happen. Because Don's got quite a few vacuums out there already, and scrubbers. All right. Any other questions on the Learn and Earn program?
You must pass the test before you can apply, right?
You have to watch you have to watch the videos, and you have to pass the test. So yeah.
That might be a problem.
All righty. Well, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and shift over to the actual equipment. And again, we'd like to keep this thing interactive. We have the microphones all set up. So if you have any questions on anything, please feel free to just ask away, and we'll keep this thing going.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, good deal. All right, so I'd like to start off with our carpet care equipment first, and then we'll move on to our scrubbers. Anytime it comes to upright vacuums, I always like to spend a little bit more time on the upright vacuums than I would with maybe some of the other items, simply because I always feel that this is your lead-in to other equipment with any account. So if you have a good quality vacuum, which most people are relatively inexpensive, people buy, in good amounts or large quantities. This will often lead to a conversation about what else do you have. Do you have an extractor? Do you have a larger vacuum? Do you have a scrubber? So on and so on. So this vacuum here is positioned to compete against the Windsor Sensor. Are you guys all familiar with the Windsor Sensor? Okay, I'm very familiar with it as well. Sold it for many years, and I can tell you that this one has some really nice features and addresses a lot of the concerns that most people have with the Windsor Sensor. So just to kind of start off, working from the top to the bottom. One of the things that I like about this vacuum here is that it's got a really nice ergonomic handle. And it's also enclosed so that when you move back and forth, I've seen it where sometimes people on a vacuum like the Sensor will go ahead and, their hands will slip out and drop the vacuum down. Well, this kind of makes it a little more ergonomic, a little nice and easy. Another thing that I like about this is that it's adjustable. It has an adjustable handle. So, for different statures, or if you have someone that's a little shorter in stature, this makes it nice and easy for them. Or you just release this so it doesn't look as messy. makes it nice and easy for them to operate the vacuum. One other thing about this is that the cord is not connected to the handle, like on the competitor vacuum that we mentioned. On theirs, this handle over time, all that back and forth, the connection tends to loosen up a little bit, sometimes because of all the dropping that I mentioned earlier, because it's not an enclosed handle. This part here will crack, and you'll see people zip tie it to kind of keep the handle locked in place. Eventually they wind up having to replace the cord or replace the handle, which can be very costly. Typically, 70, 80, 90 bucks just for a handle replacement, which is, which adds up. So this is a nice feature here. The cord has a built-in strain relief, and it's not connected to the handle. This vacuum here also has onboard tools. So you have a nice wand that you can utilize that also can be extended, and you can attach your crevice tool to. So that way you can go ahead and do your, your edging. You can also do your high dusting with the vacuum. So I'm going to put that right back down there. Connect this right here to keep things neat. On the back of the vacuum here, you have your on-off button, and you also have your bag full or airflow restriction indicator. So anytime there's a clog on the vacuum, anytime that your bag is full, you're going to see that red light light up, which is an indication that, hey, we need to check the vacuum. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up this back area here, and we'll check our bag to see whether our bag is full. Now, while I have this open, you'll notice that there's a nice seal all the way throughout this vacuum or throughout this enclosure here. So that way the suction and the dust, everything stays contained within the vacuum here. You also have a slot here for an extra bag, which is a nice feature. So when that bag is full, you can dump it, and you don't have to go back downstairs or somewhere else to get an extra bag. You have your extra bag right here with your vacuum. Now, when I ordered this one in, we were not offering HEPA standard filtration, but at this point, anytime that you order this vacuum, it's coming with HEPA filtration standard. So everything also very easily accessible. If you want to replace your bag, there's a little switch here. Basically, take out the bag. If I want to take out my pre-vac motor filter, slides right out, slides right back in here. And if I want to go ahead and replace my exhaust filter, just open this up right there, and I can go ahead and replace my exhaust filter. Now, one of the nice things that Pacific does, which I've yet to see another manufacturer do, is that when you order replacement bags for the vacuum, it actually comes as a kit. So, sometimes you order bags from another manufacturer, it's a 10-pack of bags. Well, here, to make sure that we're maintaining that high level of filtration, that high efficiency, you're going to get 8 bags. You're going to get an exhaust filter, and you're going to get a pre-vac motor filter. That's your bag change or your replacement backpack on this vacuum. Any questions so far?
Where's the HEPA filter?
Right there in the back. So the pre-vac motor filter. So what I have here is what initially came with, but any new vacuum, this is actually going to be it's going to be HEPA. So this is going to slide right back in there. And as I continue, working my way down with the vacuum, it's got a nice little area here where that swivels, so you can easily wrap your cord around the vacuum and keep everything nice and neat. On the bottom there, you have a brush height adjustment, so you can adjust the brush height, and you have a nice heavy-duty foot pedal. So on our competitor, that foot pedal comes off pretty easily. People lose it, and then they've got a vacuum that people are jamming or trying to force to kind of open up, which again causes a lot of problems. So I'm going to go ahead and before I flip it over, on the base you have 2 lights. You have a green light and you have a red light. So whenever there's a jam on the brush, that red light's going to come on. But if you run over something like a towel or something like that, you don't have to worry about causing damage to the vacuum. it's actually going to go ahead and shut itself off. The little red light's going to blink. Once you remove the towel or whatever's jammed on there, turn the vacuum on and off again, and you're ready to go. So another key feature and something that allows us to compete again with the sensor vacuum, the vacuum that this is positioned to compete against, is how easy it is to do the maintenance on this vacuum and how and the differences in the quality of components. So as you'll notice on most of the equipment that we're going to show today, every time you see a little something a little item in red, it's basically a touch point, a maintenance touch point. So if I want to go ahead and have access to this vacuum here, right now those little tabs, let's say they're going north and south, so I'm just going to put them east and west, which is going to allow me to remove the cover plate, the base plate on the vacuum here. And I'm not sure how good you can see this online, hopefully good, but you have a very nice, easy or wide opening where you can remove your trap door very easily. So now if you ran over a paper clip and all of a sudden soil starts accumulating down there, it's very, very easy to remove or very easy to clean out. The other thing that is a very nice feature compared to the sensor is that the bearing block that they use on the vacuum to hold the brush in place snaps outwards. And what happens over time is, people will jam into a wall or something like that, and that'll pop out. I can't tell you how many times I've gone into a facility and they're using a vacuum without the bearing block, and sometimes even without the brush, because the brush loosens up and, it's like, what in the world are you doing? But it happens. I'm sure you guys have seen all sorts of things out in the field as well. So this right here is makes it real nice and easy. It goes up and down, so it doesn't come off that easily. It keeps everything here locked into place. But as you can see here, when I pop out my brush and I open this up here, this is a really nice heavy-duty sealed bearing. The one on our competitor vacuum, I don't think is even a quarter the width of this, and nowhere near as stout. So this is a nice bearing here. If you look down here, also that's pretty stout. On theirs, it's just a little metal rod, but not even half the width of my pinky. Where this here, it's very, very heavy duty. So now you have quite a bit of an area here that you can easily use, clean out the vacuum. One of the other things that our engineers did, even though this is a cog belt, right, like a timing belt on a car, it's designed to last, it has a lifetime warranty on it, and it is separated. If you look at this base plate or cover plate, it does separate this side from where the belt is. It's easily accessible. So if something was to happen and that belt was damaged, it makes it real easy to replace or repair. Let's see here. The other thing about this brush, it does have a wear indicator, but if you notice the way that it's designed, the bristles are designed so that it channels everything right into the area where the suction is drawn from. So you're going to get more effective recovery. The brush is also spinning at 5,000 RPM compared to the sensor, which is 2,600 RPM. Now, all of that combined, and in addition to having 4 casters as opposed to 3, which makes could make the vacuum wobble, this is a little more sturdy. All of that combined make this a much more effective vacuum. As a matter of fact, when you log into our website and you go into the vacuum site, and you watch the video on the vacuum, it's about a 4 or 5 minute video. We actually have a sugar test. We'll take 3 packets of sugar, put it on the carpet, and run the sensor on one side, run our Pacific vacuum on the other side. This will pick everything up in one single pass. With the sensor, you have 2, 3 passes easily, and you still don't recover everything. So it's a very, very effective vacuum. Put this back in, everything just kind of slides right back into place. I'll put this bearing right in there again. See? Okay. Sometimes you just got to give it a little couple of turns, kind of making sure that it seats in there. Seats in there properly. Sorry. It's every time you're trying to do a demo.
No pressure, no pressure.
Every time you're trying to do a demo, you know, and you're trying to rush through things and trying to, oh, all right, let's get this in there. That's when things become difficult. And you know, one thing that I didn't point out is on the side of where the bearing block is, there's actually two little casters there. So you get right alongside the edge, and don't cause any damage. So, okay.
Not gonna probably help you.
There it is. Yep, so now, that goes in there like that, this goes right back in there like that. This right here, you'll notice it has two little tabs. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but I'm just gonna go ahead and do that, line it up, real nice and easy. Take this cover pipe, line it up like that, 1, 2, 3, and I'm ready to go. The vacuum is also very quiet, so turn it on. Very quiet vacuum. Any other questions on the vacuum?
Hard surfaces?
Hard surfaces? No, I think primarily designed for carpet. I mean, can it do a little bit here? Yeah, absolutely, but designed for carpet. Any other questions? Anybody online?
Nope, I'm watching it.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna move this over to the side. And
Armando, with the vacuum, I noticed when it lays totally flat, is that unique to that machine, or is that?
you know, that's a good point. So something I forgot to mention is that the vacuum does, you know, lie completely flat. There are other vacuums that lie flat. The sensor does lie flat as well, but you know, not every vacuum does. So that's also a nice selling feature, is that it does lie completely flat. So this is our wide area vacuum, and you know, one of the things that I like about this vacuum here is that it's battery operated. So a lot of you know, when you look at hotels or other large venues, and they're using a wide area vacuum, they usually have, you know, 75 feet of cord. Well, that you know, that can cause trip and fall hazards. It's you know, inhibitive. Where this right here, you have free reign to go anywhere you want, and you can be a lot more efficient, a lot more productive. This unit here, when I flip it around on the back, you're going to see your control panels here. You have your on-off, you have your brush, and you have your backflow light indicator. You also have a up and down for your brush. So that way, whenever you're not using the machine, you don't have to take out the brush or anything like that. You just simply lift up on this tab, and it will raise the deck, so that way the brush doesn't get matted. Like on many machines, whether it's an extractor, the brush is a nylon brush, so a quick and simple fix to that is you run, you know, hot water over it, you know, make the nylon basically stretch back out to you know, what it's supposed to be. You'll notice that I said this was a battery operated machine, and yet, you know, here's a pretty long cord and cable to it. This is what you utilize to charge your machine, but it's also here because let's say you're operating the machine and you're in a long hallway and you run out of battery. Well, you can actually plug this in and use it as a cord electric machine as well. So you have all sorts of tools while I'm back here. You know, so you just like the other vacuum, you have your wand, you know, you can extend the wand, you have your tray tool, you have your crevice tool, all comes standard with this unit here. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and face it this way. You can go ahead and position this, you know, to different levels so that it's nice and comfortable for the operator. If you needed to change out your bag, you would just disconnect here. You can release this, and you don't have to take the whole machine with you. You can actually just take this whole compartment out. And now you have access to, let's say open this up right here. You have access to replacing your bag right here. Okay, pretty nice size bag, but also cleaning out your filter. This just snaps out, snaps back in as well. And we can go ahead and line this up, put this right back in place there. Put this there, latch it back on. When we put this back in here, we're going to connect our locking mechanism here so this doesn't move. Connect our hose. We're ready to go again. It also has areas where you can easily carry the machine. Now, one person can do it. I did it yesterday, but it's not comfortable. So it's always advisable for 2 people because it does have large batteries in there. It can get a little heavy, but you have a handle on the back and you have a handle on the front that you would utilize to basically pick the machine up and put it on the back of a truck or whatever the case may be. It's a very quiet machine. As I actually, so you get a better view when we do this. So underneath here, you have your brush, which is also easily removable on this side here. So like before, with the upright vacuum, anything in red is a touch point. So this here will allow me to take out the bearing, and then I can put my brush out. One of the neat things that I like about this machine here is that it doubles as a carpet encapsulator. So, you know, if you're, we did a demo at an apartment building, Don and I showed this to a resort. You know, if you're doing, if you're cleaning a hallway, you know, you got your everyday vacuuming use out of this, but let's say every month you want to go ahead and encapsulate the carpet. You can go in there with your pump up sprayer, spray the carpet. On this machine here, the only thing that you would need to do, we don't want to get any moisture into the vacuum area. So, and we also want a more aggressive brush. So what we would do is we would take out this brush, replace it with a red brush, and take out this plate here, which is your vacuum plate. Right? Here's your vacuum shoe, and replace it with another one that's designed, it's enclosed, it's waterproof, and it's designed for you to spray down and not get anything into the vacuum motor. So this machine here will actually double as a carpet encapsulator as well as a wide area vacuum. So
Armando?
Yes, sir?
Kathy Dibby wants to know how long the run time is on the battery charge.
Yeah, off the top of my head, I think it's 45 minutes. But you know, we can double check the specs on it online, just to verify. But I'm trying to, you know, remember, and I think it's 45 minutes continuous run time. So, you know, when I go ahead and turn it on, you'll see that it's a very quiet machine, and we'll go over here on the carpet here. And it's also very, very easy to maneuver. So I'm going to make sure that I got the brush down. So I just went ahead and released that.
90 minutes.
Again, you know, it's 90 minutes?
90 minutes.
Okay, so my, I actually said half. So it's double the run time of what I proposed. So now, turn the machine on. You can see it's a very quiet machine. There's your vacuum, your brush. So 2 little levers underneath here. Now you can hear the brush moving. And this is another thing that I like about this machine here, is how easy it is to just rotate. It turns on a dime. So you go ahead here. Going much more now, but literally, no, it's not quite. Yep. So Dave's going to bring out this mat here, and you know, you can see that there's a little bit of debris on there. So now this, again, true vacuum. Not a sweeper, true vacuum system, battery operated. And you can already see, you know, the pal being lifted, but also how easy it is to kind of maneuver this in and around the carpet.
Have you used that with any other encapsulation system?
What do you mean by with any other?
Flow moisture compound?
Well, well, technically you can use this with any, you know, it's got to be an encapsulation system that you spray on, because this machine here does not have the option to spray, but whatever encapsulation system you're using that you can spray onto the carpet, what this machine will do is this machine will work that encapsulation chemical into the carpet fibers.
Okay, I'm talking about the absorbent compounds.
Oh, like posts and stuff like that. You know, that's a good question. I don't think that this was designed for that, but I'm not certain, so I can get back to you on that. I can look into that. You know, I guess I'm thinking about it. I don't see why not, because all you're doing is you're brushing the product in with this unit here. But I think the idea initially was, you know, with the with the spray with the wet encapsulation. Any questions on the wide area vacuum? Anybody online? What do you guys think? You see different places that this would be a good fit for?
A lot of places, it's huge to have a battery operated.
Yeah, not too many people have a battery operated unit like that. I'm trying to think, and no one comes to mind right now. I mean, you guys are familiar with other lines as well. Does anyone come to mind? Because the only ones that I can think of are the battery operated riders. So this is a nice battery operated walk behind, which is going to provide us with a cost advantage and, you know, storage and things like that as well.
So the cord on the back is just for charging?
The cord on the back is for charging, but if you run out of battery, you can actually plug it in and use it as a hybrid. We don't pitch it as a hybrid, but it has that capability.
It's not so massive either that, you know, there's just a lot of places you could fit that in.
You know what, and that's a really good point, Paul, because in a hotel setting, right, you typically have housekeepers and housekeeping carts on the halls, and you have your houseman, you know, going in there with the vacuum throughout the day. So this is just wide enough to kind of get in and not get in the way, and not have to, you know, request someone to move the housekeeping cart or so on and so on. So it's you know, it's got a lot of you know, different places that it would be a good fit for. So next is our battery operated backpack vacuum. So I guess one of the key features of this unit here that I like, number one, it's very lightweight. It's 10.9 pounds, and you know, having worked for Protein before, I'm very familiar with backpack vacuums. I'm also very familiar with the challenges that you have inside backpack vacuums. You know, everybody complains about the weight, oh, my back, so on and so on, even though, you know, being in the industry, we know that when you wear these, you know, they're actually resting on the strongest part of your body. So weight, you know, it's more perception than anything else. I mean, these, you know, these are designed to be more ergonomic than even uprights. But the other thing that I like about this is that the battery that's on this unit is shared between a battery operated sweeper and a battery operated micro scrubber, which we're going to talk about in just a second. But that's nice because, you know, if you've got a customer that buys into, hey, I need a battery backpack vacuum, or I need a sweeper, or whatever, you know, you can expand your product offering to them, you know, with other different products, knowing that they're going to share those batteries, they're going to share the same charger. You don't have to have multiple chargers or batteries, you know, at the facility. So another thing that I like about this is it's got a nice little carrying handle, and again, 10.9 pounds on this. With, you know, it's not that heavy. You also have a very comfortable harness. You know, we talked about how when worn properly, this is actually nowhere near as heavy as what most, you know, what perception is, and to do that, then you always go ahead and fix this portion first. Make sure that it's resting on the strongest part of your body, which is your hip. This right here, the shoulder harnesses, these are not designed to, hold the weight of the vacuum. These are designed so the vacuum doesn't fall back. So the weight of the vacuum is actually here on the hip. And then the harness here, this is designed so that as you're moving, back and forth and throughout, your shoulder strap doesn't, fall off your shoulders. So that's the way that you properly, I'm sure you guys probably know that, but that's the way that you properly put on and wear a backpack vacuum. So this unit here, again, also extremely, extremely quiet. And I'm a righty, so I'm going to move it over to this side. You can adjust the length based on the operator, so that's a nice feature. Some wands are fixed. So, depending on the stature of the operator, they're kind of stuck with, with that height level. So you have on one side, you have your battery, which also, if you needed to go ahead and swap out a battery, I always recommend that when someone buys a unit like this, that they always purchase an extra battery. You can easily disconnect your battery. Once you get used to it, plug it away, and then put your battery back on and lock it back into place. And then on the other side is your on-off switch. So when I turn it on, there's usually about a second delay, but you can hear it, very quiet vacuum. You can go ahead and use your wand here. And this is a pretty heavy mat, but let's say that you had another area where you were pulling up the mat or something, you can actually release, some of the suction from down there by opening this here and drawing air in from the wand area. So that's, let me go ahead and show you how easy it is also to change up the bags and the filters on this back up here. So it does come with all your tools standard. So you have your crevice tool, you have your drape tool, you have your dusting brush, all there on the belt, so it doesn't get lost. It makes it nice and easy for the operator to use those tools while they're cleaning. But when I open this up over here, I have access, again, everything in red, as a touch point, a maintenance touch point to swap out my bag. I have my pre-vac motor filter here, which is also available as HEPA, and I have my exhaust filter here. So all these filters, easily accessible on the vacuum, and this can also comes available in HEPA filter. So you can really amp up the filtration on this vacuum depending on where you're utilizing it and the customer's needs. One other feature that I like about this vacuum that I haven't really seen in other ones is that you can actually order a caster kit for this. So I didn't know this until I started looking this up. But Don and I called on the customer that was asking for canister vacuums. And if you open this up here, you'll notice that there's a couple of screws on here. And same thing on the bottom. You can actually take these out and in here connect casters on it. So now instead of having a backpack vacuum, you can actually convert this into a canister vacuum. So this is a backpack / canister vacuum.
That would be good to know.
That would have been good to know at that time. Yes, it would have. Now we know. Any questions on the backpack vacuum?
One time?
Huh?
One time?
Runtime, you know what, I'm not even gonna guess, because I screwed the other one up really bad, so we're just gonna go ahead and have to look up the specs. I want to say it's 45 minutes.
Yeah. Keep saying that one.
Exactly.
45 minutes until you look at the literature, right?
Okay, what does the literature say?
Catalog didn't say anything.
Well, catalog won't, but the spec sheet does. Scroll down a little bit more.
Said it on the wide area, but on that one.
It says, Kathy
30
says,
minutes?
30 minutes.
Okay,
30 minutes, 30 minutes on a 9-minute charge.
All right, so I undershot the other one, I overshot this one, so.
90 minutes or.
Yeah, as a general rule of thumb,
3 times the charge to
It's,
run.
typically double. So here we have our wet dry bath. And this is a really, really nice nice high quality, really nice high quality wet dry vac. It's you know, a lot of design of our machines as we look closer, it's really designed to, you know, simplify things, to make it easy for the operator to do what they're tasked to do or do what they need to do. Well, you know, just like you'll see how easy it is to change out the brushes on the scrubbers and things like that. Because we know that if it's not easy, they're not going to do it. You got to make it simple, you got to make it easy, otherwise it's not going to get done. One of the nice things I like about this vacuum here, number one, I mean, it's pretty stout, pretty high, you know, high quality, high impact resin. You know, cords are always an issue with backpack vacuums. So on the cord for this unit here, you have a built-in strain relief. So when you connect your vacuum, you actually connect it right here, and now you've got a built-in strain release. Now you connect this here. You're never going to pull on this. You're never going to pull this out of the vacuum and have to worry about cord. At least this, you know, this part of it being damaged and having to be replaced. So it's got that nice built-in feature on there. It does come standard with a front mount squeegee, and I'll go over how easy it is to kind of do the blades on that also. But before, I want to show you that basically this right here is where you drop your front mount squeegee. This right here, also where you would raise your front mount squeegee. So real nice and easy. As far as draining the vacuum, you have a couple of different options here. You have your drain hose here, which is tied all the way down to the bottom of the tank, which is nice because that allows you to completely drain the tank. But you also have your tip and pour feature here, so you can back this up to the back of a, you know, a mop sink or toilet, and you've got some built-in handles on the front of the machine, which you can use to tip it and drain it that way. So that's a really nice feature as well. It's a 1.5 power, 1.5 horsepower standard motor, so it's a very, very powerful motor on this. And when I look down over here, I've got my two wing nuts here that you know, hold the squeegee in place. But if I wanted to replace my squeegee blades, again, you got to make it simple, you got to make it quick, otherwise it's not going to get done for cleaning. There's on the two ends here, there's one there and there's one here, and I go ahead and loosen those up. Just tap this out, and that's all there is. Now my squeegee comes out completely nice and easy. No screws, you know, no tools needed. I can take all of this out and then put it back in, line it up, and then tighten these up again. Ready to go. My squeegee is right there. So again, you got to keep things simple. The easier it is to clean, maintain, and use a machine, the more likely it's actually going to get done. So we're just going to connect this back over here and slide this right there and then tighten it up. And what else? That's that's what I have to say. That's more or less, you know, what there is to say about this vacuum here. This lid does come off to make it easy for cleaning. The other thing about this is that, you know, and you'll notice this on our scrubbers as well, the seal around it is a high quality automotive type seal. I don't know about you guys, but when was the last time you replaced a seal on the door of your car? Right? I mean, it's hardly ever. So these are all, you know, high quality components. That's what Pacific prides itself on, is making sure that, hey, you know, we go ahead and build a high quality, durable, reliable piece of equipment that's easy and simple to use. You know, I'm kind of laughing at myself inside because I remember years and years ago while working for another manufacturer, we had this little competition between all the sales reps. And, you know, one of the hardest things to do is stand up in front of your peers and basically present equipment, right? So a lot of the guys were nervous. And this one guy, you know, had to do a wet dry vac. And he goes up there and, you know, everybody's out there on the, you know, all the peers are basically waiting to see his presentation. And he gets up there and he goes, "It's a wet dry vac. It picks up wet and it picks up dry." Any questions? You know, it's because I was like, how much can you possibly say about a dry back?
And yet you spent 15 minutes.
Right. But the other thing about this is, you know, if you notice the wheels on the back, I mean, very nice big wheels. So, I mean, there's a lot of really nice positive features to this wet dry back that make it very durable and, you know, very appealing to our customers. You can add as a kit, you know, all your wands and toolkits, but, you know, I think the front mount squeegee just makes it so much easier than having to, you know, do that work that's a little more labor intensive. All right, so our virtual team, any questions on the dry back?
No, it doesn't come with the kid full thing.
No, it comes standard just the way you see it. So if you want to add the wand and those extra tools, those are extra.
Are we still, is everybody still hearing our sound and seeing video correctly?
Yes.
Yeah, it's fine.
All right, good to hear. So next up is a machine that's been in our line and has not been touched or changed in probably over 15 years. This is our carpet extractor. It's an 11-gallon, I want to say 16-inch cleaning width. But this is about a rock solid of a machine, you know, as we have, especially on the carpet side. Yes, Dave?
I don't know if anybody needs to take a 5-minute potty break or
Do we need to take a break, anybody?
an hour.
Okay. Yes, no?
Soon.
Soon? All right. All right. Maybe after the extractor, before we go into the hard floor equipment, we'll take a 5-minute break. So this right here, again, has been in our line for many, many years and has been relatively unchanged. There's a lot, it's really a dinosaur, especially in design. When you look at a lot of carpet extractors out there, you know, they all have these little fancy little gadgets and trinkets and hoses, and they're all plastic. This right here performs really, really well. It's really durable. I mean, high impact resin. You can feel it on all of our machines. You know, you touch this compared to some of the other Rotomold from the other units out there. You can tell this is really high quality. But the other thing I like about this is it's all metal, right? So you don't have too many machines nowadays that have metal jets, metal vac shoes. I mean, this thing, you know, has all of that and really, really performs well on a demo. This is where this really shines. You know, you look at the design and maybe not all that appealing to compared to some of the newer machines that are out there, but when you put it on the floor next to another machine, this one here really outshines and performs. Also very simple. So you've got you know, your recovery tank up here, right? You've got your solution tank down here. This right here locks your brush and keeps your brush out of the floor so it doesn't get matted. So when I'm going to use the machine, I simply lift this up and drop it down, and that allows my brush to make contact with the carpet. And when I'm not using it, I'm just going to lift it up, lock it into place there, and I don't have to worry about it getting matted, and then the next time I use my machine is skipping, so on and so on. So real nice, again, that's a nice little feature to have, because with other units that don't have that, you know, that's what typically happens. So on the control panel here, you have your vacuum, and you also vacuum on. You have your lever, which basically controls your brush and your water, and you also have your accessory. So when you're using an accessory, you have your button there for your accessory. You have your standard 1/4-inch connection here, and then this right here will allow you to switch between accessory or machine. You got a really nice big opening here for draining the tank. Again, you know, one of the other things I like about this is how everything is all molded. So you look at the handle here. You know, sometimes when you have a machine that's mold and the handle is not, you know, as people are moving the machine with the weight of the water and things like that, things tend to get all bent out of shape, right? And now you get a machine that you're operating and the handle's kind of tilted and sideways. You don't have to worry about that with this. Again, All these machines are designed to be durable, reliable, last a long time, and work. As I tilt this back, you're able to see underneath. Let's see here. Let me see if I can tilt it back a little bit more. You've got anti-corrosive material there. I'm not sure how much you can see from online, but all of that underneath is all metal, anti-corrosive. You've got access to your brush here, your jets. Again, right there, easy to remove, easy to clean out, but they're again, all metal jets, and you've got a really nice, heavy, all metal back shoe. So, any questions on the carpet extractor? Any questions from our team online? No. No? Okay, so it's 10:07 or so right now. Maybe we can take a little break till about 10:15 and get restarted again. We got a few, this is, where we really, you've seen some pretty good equipment here, but this is where we really shine is on our scrubbers. And, I can't wait to talk to you about those. So we'll take a small break, utilize the restroom and come back, say no later than 10:15, please. None? Good? Questions?
I bet that's extracting.
All right.
I'm done. That's, have another meeting.
Well, he'll just have to jump in.
All right, so I'll leave them a little bit of room here, so I'll put these machines up so you can walk through.
The door opens the other way anyway.
Okay, all right,
So you want
so,
that carpet back out?
huh?
You want the carpet back out?
No, well, actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and do this. Do it halfway, because I'm gonna show this one here. All right, you guys ready? Yep. All right, so this is our SW16B sweeper. It's actually a sweeper vac, so it does have a little vacuum feature in there to kind of keep everything contained inside the unit. Starting from the top down, one of the things that I like about this unit is the adjustable handle, so you can ensure that you have a comfortable fit for different statures. And you have your on-off button here. You have your handle release there. You'll notice that the machine is extremely quiet. Right? It's got dual kind of rotating brushes, which I'll cover in just a second. And it's a sweeper vac that can be utilized in both hard floor and carpet. So, we just went from hard floor to carpet here. While the machine's on, you'll notice that there's 3 little blue lights here. Those indicate your battery level, and the green indicates that everything's okay. You also have a back full light indicator here. So this is green now. Let me go ahead and tilt it so everybody online can see. So as your bag starts getting full, this will start turning red until it gets all the way red, and then that basically means that your bag needs to be replaced. So I mentioned that this unit here had dual counter-rotating brushes. And just like the other machines, anything in red, tilt it over this way so you guys can see, anything in red is a touch point for the operator. So if I needed to go ahead and replace my brushes, just lift up on this little red tab here, this plate comes out, and I can slide out my brushes pretty easily for easy cleaning and replacement. On the cover here, you'll notice there's 2 large blue tabs on either side. If I snap those outwards, I usually do it on the top first, then on the bottom, my whole cover plate comes off. And then I have access to my sweeper. So you'll notice a lot of red again. Everything in red is a touch point for the operator. So if I want to remove my bag, I can easily pull this tab back. My bag comes right out. I want to put it back in, and then, let that tab go right back in there, and it'll go in there. I have my pre-vac motor filter in red. I have my exhaust filter here in red. So everything, again, it's designed so that it's easy for the operator to identify and easier for the operator to maintain. Here are these tabs. If I want to clean out my vac chute, because everything's being drawn in through this little piece here, all I have to do is those little tabs that in this machine here are going, let's say, east and west. I'm going to put them north and south, and I can go ahead and remove that and be able to clean that out also. So it's very, very easy to maintain. Nice, effective unit that can be utilized in both hard floor and soft floor surfaces. And let's see. Put this back up there. There we go. The other thing that I like about it is how the handle will actually go completely flat to the ground. So if you need to get underneath areas, tables and things as such, it makes it real nice and easy to do. We talked about the batteries being interchangeable between this unit here as well as the backpack vacuum and the micro scrubber. So the battery slides right out and snaps right back in.
Captain Doobie asks, does the bag fill from the side?
From the side, does it fill from the side? No. So let me take it out. So the bag actually fills, from underneath. These two brushes are and a little bit of suction are actually drawing everything in through this vac chute here. I don't know if you can see that. So you've got this little vac chute here that throws everything into the sweeper bag. So let me go ahead and put this right back in there. We'll close this up and then move on to the next size sweeper. So our next size sweeper is actually our SW26, which can also be utilized on both carpet and hard floor. The handle is adjustable, so you can move it back and forth depending on the height of the operator, make it nice and comfortable for them. It's very easy to charge this machine as well. Here you have access to your filter, which if you notice, I don't know if you can see very well from online, but there's a nice thick band here that allows you to remove this here and replace the filter. You have your battery here, your cord, almost looks like one of those computer cords. You just plug in here and then onto an outlet, and you can charge your machine that way. You have a little side room that is designed to push everything into the main room's path, so that way everything can get recovered into this big hopper in the back. Now, the nice thing about this unit here is that it can be used both indoors and outdoors, on hard floor and on soft floor. So there's a lot of versatility to this sweeper here. Control panel, also very easy. So you have a brush high, brush low feature. You have your on off in the center. You have your dust control feature, which turns on that little vacuum, so that way everything stays contained. And you also have a filter shake, so that way you release the dust that builds up on your filter, goes right back into the hopper. So as I turn it on, you'll see the Pacific logo, and then it'll let you know your battery is at, in this case here, 100%, and it says I have 43 minutes of continuous runtime. Now, when you're using this machine, 43 minutes is actually quite a long time, because you're not walking like this. You're actually moving at a pretty fast pace when you to get the most effective results out of this unit here. So just so you guys can hear it, I want to shake out my filter. Press that button. That button shakes out the filter, releases the dust from the filter onto the hopper. And then if I go ahead and turn on my brush, you're going to notice that the little side room is going to slightly drop, and the machine turns on. Extremely, extremely quiet. And now, I can basically go and sweep, sweep the area. So, again, it works on hard floor or carpet, like so. I probably got out of the camera's view here, but let's go back over here.
You go on the Broadway carpet there.
Yep. So, any questions on sweepers?
Work outdoors.
Yep, it works indoors or outdoors. So nice on exterior halls. Again, you have the option of using a blower, but a blower, you're just moving it from point A to point B. So this here actually collects everything where you can dump it and get rid of it.
Outdoor walkways that are covered but get dirty.
That are covered yet dirty. What do you mean by? Oh yeah, yes.
Schools where they have to go.
Yeah, like the apartment complex that we went to.
Apartment complex.
Yeah, would work perfectly there. We also have a sit-down rider version of this sweeper here. Obviously I wasn't able to bring everything, but we have this as a walk behind, but also as a rider. This is our orbital floor machine. Very nice, heavy-duty machine. I mentioned earlier that we have the best orbital technology in the industry. Our hub, our eccentric hub, is all machined. It's doubly sealed. I mean, there's a lot of individual things that really differentiate our machines from the competition. And while I don't always have everything memorized, a lot of these are also available on our website. We have a really nice video that kind of goes over in detail why our orbital machines are absolutely the best in the industry, why they last a lot longer, why they're designed so that they don't vibrate anywhere near as much as any other machine in the industry. There's really a lot of things about these orbitals, not just the eccentric hub, but the isolators on our units. Most isolators are about the width of my pinky. Ours are really, really heavy duty isolators. And we warranty them for 5,000 hours or 5 years, which is unheard of. Nobody else does that. Our plates, they're 3/4 inch aluminum plates, are designed to be flat on the ground so you get the most effective cleaning or stripping with these. And you have the weights here. The way that these is designed is, sometimes you go into an office building or a doctor's office and you have all these cabinets and you're looking at strip floors. Well, you need to make sure that you leave enough space so that you can get right underneath that lip of that cabinet and get right along the edge of the wall. And this enables you to do that. It's also got a nice ergonomic handle, which you can release here and adjust, to different heights from here, as opposed to having to bend down, down there. It's an all metal shaft that goes all the way up from the bottom to the top, not a cord like in some units. Safety switch here. It really is a heavy duty machine. You can attach a water tank or a tank to it. You can also attach a vacuum to it, for those that are looking to utilize this on wood floors and trap or contain as much of the dust as possible. So heavy duty casters, non-marking wheels, on the back. Everything on this machine is pretty heavy duty. It's designed to last. So I was thinking about saying, well, it's an orbital floor machine. Any questions? We do have some really high quality floor machines as well. So in addition to our standard floor machines, we have some HD, heavy duty floor machines as well. This is a nice little unit. We've had quite a bit of success with this in nursing homes and in hospitals. A lot of the folks there like to take this unit into patient rooms. They're used to mopping, and they notice that when we take this unit in, we can use nothing more but water. They notice a substantial difference in the water that's actually recovered because you have that agitation, right? So you're putting water down, you're scrubbing, you're picking it up, and you're separating it. You're putting it in different compartments. So ideal for those type of applications, but in many other places as well, office buildings, anywhere where a 20-inch or smaller machine might be a little too big. This is an ideal size. So this one here, again, ergonomic handle. One of the things that I like about this unit is how easy it is to train on as well. You basically have 3 buttons here. You have your on-off button here, you have your vacuum, and you have your water. So when you're training an individual or demonstrating the machine, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3, right? Turn on the power, turn on the vacuum, turn on the water, go. Whenever you're getting ready to stop, you're going to do the same thing in reverse. So now you're going to turn off your water first, 1, you're going to turn off your vacuum after you've picked up everything that you left on the floor, 2, and then you're going to shut the machine off, 3. So here, you have your little tank. It's like a 0.7 or something like that gallon tank, so it's not a huge tank. But it's, you got your clean water side, your dirty water side. The dirty water side is a little bit bigger intentionally, so that way as things move around, slushes around, you have more space for it to go and not get into the vacuum motor, even though you do have a float shutoff that as the water level rises, it protects anything from getting into the vac motor. You also have a nice little filter here, also easy to remove. And I lock this back in place. I can fill up my machine 2 different ways. I can take it to the sink like this, or sometimes if you're in an office building and you just want to use a standard restroom, and the sinks, the sink and the faucet, there's not much separation between them. You can actually tilt it sideways, pop open this cap here, and fill it that way. And this cap here doubles as a measuring cup, so you can measure, how much solution you're going to put into the machine as well. So down here, you have your brush height adjustment, depending on how much pressure you want to put down on the floor. And just like the sweeper that we showed earlier, the cover plate is easy to remove, and then you have access to all the workings. And again, just like the other units, everything in red, it's a touch point for the operator. So if I open this up, I have access to my little trap door. So let's say I pick up something that's causing a jam and I'm not getting the recovery that I should. I can always just pop this out. Now I can easily clean out that area. I can see that it's also attached to my recovery hose, which that recovery hose goes all the way back here and then goes into my tank. But if I wanted to, I can actually open this up, I can slide this out, I can flush this out and make sure that hose is clear of any clogs. And then when I put that back in, I just simply slide it back in and then lock it back into place. Real nice and easy. While I'm back here, you also have a nice little area where you can easily carry the machine. Makes it easy to carry and distributes the weight a little more evenly. You also have your battery, which is again the same as the other 2 units, which is easy to slide out and put right back in. Underneath, you have your squeegees, both in front and back of the brush, and you have a little red tab here, again red, which allows you to remove this piece here and take out your brush. So put that right back in. If I want to take my squeegee out, okay, again, red. So I'm going to go east and west on this. They're normally, let's say, north and south. And as I tilt this back, that allows me to slide out my squeegee for easy cleaning and replacement. So you got to keep it simple. You got to make it easy, otherwise it's not going to get done. And this, this is real nice and easy for the operator. So we'll just put those tabs back in there.
Is that whole squeegee like replaceable, that kit, or are just the blades?
Yep. So the whole kit. So when they need to replace the blades, they're going to replace that whole thing. That's the way it comes. So align that, snaps right back into place. We're going to go ahead and put this on. It's also a very quiet machine. So you got your foot pedal in the back that releases everything. Turn machine on. Battery indicator. Turn vacuum on. You hear a slightly different pitch. Turn water on. Okay, when I'm done, turn water off. Turn vacuum off. turn power off. That's it. Any questions on the micro scrubber? You guys see different applications where you can apply this at? Any feedback from our team at the online?
No.
All right, so now we get to the fun stuff. All right, so this is our 20-inch auto scrubber. It comes available in a 20-inch, a 24-inch, a 32-inch, a 28-inch. We also have the orbitals. I'm going to go over this one first, and then just go over the key differences on the orbital. But everything on this machine, again, very heavy-duty, high-impact resin, heavy construction, even the squeegee. I mean, most manufacturers will have a plastic squeegee. This is all metal, waterproof. It's got a coating on it, but it's extremely, extremely heavy-duty. So, as far as one of the nice things about our scrubbers, if you look at our machine, it has a very similar look to a Tennant. So just to kind of give you a little history on this. When Pacific started, they were very well known for their floor machines. And then Larry Hines, our owner, wanted to expand into auto scrubbers. So he private labeled some other scrubbers, which turned out to be not such a good thing. The scrubbers were not reliable, and they were tarnishing the reputation that he had worked so hard to build, with Pacific being a high quality, very reliable, cost-effective option for equipment. So he hired these engineers. Tennant was moving one of their facilities from Holland, Michigan to Minneapolis, and some of the engineers didn't want to move. So the guys that designed the T3, the T5, the T7, those are the guys that designed this machine. So from the outside, aesthetically speaking, it does have a similar look to it, but from a manufacturing and component standpoint, it's a totally different machine. Basically, the owner of our company said, hey, I want you guys to build me a machine from the ground up. I want this to be the absolute best auto scrubber in the industry, bar none. So when you look at this machine here, all the components are really, high quality, tough components that are designed to make this a reliable unit. Everything from, the high impact construction roll molding to doing away with a lot of those things that really increase the cost of ownership to a machine. So these units here do not have a motherboard. I was just in an account a couple of weeks ago where they had purchased one of these units. We were talking about the unit. He had a rider from a different competitor that the motherboard went out on twice. The first time it was nearly $5,000 for repair, which is a little high, but it was a European machine that they needed to get the parts for, and the second one was $6,000. So $11,000 in replacing motherboards. With this unit here, you don't have any motherboards. You also don't have any actuators. So it brings the brush up and down. You don't have any of that here, and you don't have a pump. Here it's all gravity feed. So you take away those three things, and you significantly reduce the cost of ownership on the scrubber. So now you don't have to worry about wetting the motherboard, having it fry out, and all of a sudden being down, $2,000 on a repair, and possibly 3 to 4 weeks of downtime, if not longer. You don't have to worry about the same with the actuator and the pump. Now those are not going to be as expensive of a fix, but still causes significant downtime. So on this unit here, you'll notice that the other thing about it is we want to make sure that it's real nice and easy to operate, right? So if you keep things simple for the operator, they're going to go ahead and utilize the machine the way that they're supposed to. So I have on this unit now, I have a pad driver. But let's say that I'm going from a finished floor to tile, and I want to go ahead and swap it out for a brush. Okay, with most other machines, you're going to have to get underneath. You're going to have to unscrew it or unlock it, put a different pad in there. With this unit here, on the back, there's a simple A and B button. So all I do is press A first and then B afterwards. And when I do that, it basically releases my pad driver. So now if I need to use a brush, I can put the brush underneath. And again, I don't have to go underneath there and I don't have to, mess around with anything and lock it back into place. All I'm going to do is I'm simply going to position the machine over the pad, and I'm going to go ahead and drop my deck. Once I drop my deck, let me make sure it's all the way down. Okay, once I drop my deck, I'm going to go ahead and hit the on button, and I don't think it caught. Hold on 1 second. There we go. Yep, and basically now I have my pad on my unit. As I mentioned before, everything on this unit is mechanical. And I kind of skipped a step here, but this is where you would fill up your clean water. And if you go ahead and wanted to use a hose, you can actually put the hose right in there and fill up the unit that way as well. We already went over the pad. When everything gets recovered, you've got this heavy duty squeegee, which is also, again, keeping that same model where you want to keep things simple for the operator. If I wanted to go ahead and change out the blades on my, or change out my squeegee blades, or just simply flip them over, you want to make sure that it's nice and easy for the operator to do so. So all you do is you release this latch here. This pops right out, so now I can go ahead and flip my squeegee, upside down or left and right. And once I'm ready to go ahead and put it back in there, make sure that all this is aligned again, and snap it right back into place. Same thing for the back, same thing for the front. So that's how nice and easy it is to replace the squeegee on your machine. And then this comes set from the factory so that you don't have to do any adjustments. But on this unit here, the adjustments are also very simple. So right next to these wing nuts here that allow me to lock my squeegee into place, let me loosen them up a little bit more. There are some torque screws. And if I needed to go ahead and make adjustments to the squeegee so that I get the right deflection, I could easily do it there. So water gets recovered, goes into my recovery tank. One of the nice features of this tank also is that it's probably hard to view from the camera there, but you have almost like this wall underneath here. So the center is open. Yeah, okay, you know what? Let's do that. So that may make it a little easier to see. So, if you're operating the machine and you have to come to a hard stop, the water's going to slosh around inside, right? But here, it's going to go up those cavities and not go into your float shutoff and up into the back motor and get some humidity up there and some water up there. So it protects everything real nice and easy. It's also designed so that if you're using the machine and you need to fill up your batteries, I'm going to go over that in just a second. Even if you have water in the tank, you can actually tilt it so you can do the maintenance on your batteries and not have to worry about emptying the tank. Now, obviously, if it's full, you want to go ahead and empty it out. But if you've only got a little bit on there, you don't want to have to take that extra step. You can go ahead and take care of your batteries that way. You'll notice that, what locks the tank into place, it's all heavy duty aluminum, heavy duty steel throughout the entire machine. And this is battery shield right here. So you have this little sensor that measures the level of water inside your batteries. When that water level gets below a certain threshold, the machine has a little light back here. That little light's going to kick on. And you can still move the machine back and forth, you're just not going to be able to scrub with it. You're not going to be able to scrub with it until you fill your batteries with distilled water. And then we use this HydroLink system here. Are you guys familiar with this? Yes? Okay. Some of us. So this HydroLink system here, you're basically going to put this end here inside your gallon of distilled water. you're gonna go ahead and take this end here and connect it to your batteries. And then all you're gonna do is pump. So you never open your batteries, okay? So all you have to do is connect this to your batteries, pump until this becomes rock hard. Once this is rock hard and you can't pump anymore, your batteries are full and the water has also been evenly distributed throughout your batteries. Because of this, we will guarantee or warranty your batteries for a full 3 years. I mean, Pacific wouldn't do that unless they knew that the batteries were gonna last a lot longer than that, right? And this warranty on the batteries, it's a 100% replacement warranty. Everybody else in the industry will do 1 year prorated. No one does 3 years. But we give you a 3-year, 100% full replacement on the batteries on any machine with Battery Shield if your battery's life is less than that. Any questions on the Battery Shield before I move forward?
So the battery shield is an option or standard?
It is an option. So you can get these machines with, depending on the customer, you can get them with AGM batteries. You can get them with your, if you want to go ahead and save a little bit on cost, you can get them with a little lower, regular batteries without the Battery Shield. But I think it's every penny worth the investment, because now you're almost certain that battery should last you, 5 years. We've got some school systems that have 80, 90 machines. And, I used one of them as a reference not too long ago. And in 5 years, he's only had two machines with battery issues, only 2. And he will be the first to admit that he feels that in those 2 cases, it was user error. Someone forgot, someone tried to, do something that they shouldn't have, and opened up the batteries, filled them the wrong way, which you don't need to on these. So he'll admit that he believes that they were user errors. And this is 5 years, almost, 90 machines in that school district with no problems. One of the other things that I like about this here is when that Battery Shield light comes on, let's say you forget, let's say, or we've got a new operator and they're not familiar with what to do. Everybody carries these with us these days, these smartphones, right? All you have to do is scan this here and it'll show you a video of what you need to do once that light comes on. Basically, fill it with distilled water, turn the machine off, turn the machine on once you're done, and you're ready to go again. If you have questions about how to operate the machine, there's a QR code here that will, take you to a video on how to operate, how to use, how to maintain the machine. If you ran over something and accidentally damaged the squeegee, and now you need to call your gem rep and say, hey, I need this squeegee, and you need the part number, you scan that, and you've got, parts diagram to the machine. So make it easy, simplify the entire process. The handle here, completely ergonomic. You click on this, the machine moves forward. You've got 2 casters on the back, nice non-marking wheels. You can feel the machine. I mean, it's a pretty stout machine. When you're moving this, it moves, like a well-built machine. If you want to go back, there's a button here that you press and hold down. Same thing, press on the handle, and the machine will go back. And again, it's very ergonomic. You're not tied to a certain position. You can basically hold it any way that's comfortable for you. You've got your speed control here. Again, high quality knobs. These are not, cheap. Everything, it feels, nice and smooth. Same thing for your water level. You get your battery indicator here. And then if you look here, again, this is another thing that helps reduce the cost of your machines. We talk about, not having actuators. If you look at this, look how thick that steel and the aluminum is on here. Everything, your squeegee, mechanical, your brush step, mechanical. This machine here has one of the highest pad pressures in the industry. And if you want to put even more pad pressure down, that's what this knob is there for. You can actually lock down the pad pressure and apply even more pad pressure onto the ground. So a machine, again, that's designed to last, but overall, reduce your cost of ownership. If you don't have to worry about batteries, if you don't have to worry about actuators, if you don't have to worry about motherboards, if you don't have to worry about pumps, this is gravity feed. Again, it's a machine that's going to do what it's supposed to do and save you a lot of money in the long term. one of my favorite customer quotes is, wow, you guys went back 20 years and fixed everything, you know, made the machines the way that they were supposed to. And this is exactly what this machine is. I mean, this is like a, you know, rock solid machine from 20 years ago with a little bit of newer technology, but those same principles, right? You know, mechanical, designed to last a long while. Any questions on the disc scrubber?
Does that come in orbital or just rotary?
Yep, it does come in orbital, and go ahead and move that over here. Any questions from anybody online?
Kathy says, nice machine, 90 pounds of pressure.
Thank you. I would have guessed 45.
Keeping you honest today.
Huh?
They're keeping you honest.
Yeah. So, same unit here, 20-inch, but rather than a disc, this machine is an orbital. Now, you know, we talked a little bit about having the best orbital technology in the industry. Absolutely, bar none. No one else can match the performance of these orbitals. But the other thing about this is when you look here, it's probably hard to see from out there, but the deck is a 3/4 inch aluminum deck. I mean, it is heavy, it is stout, it's designed to, you know, be flat on the floor. Again, the hub, the eccentric hub, the bearings are doubly sealed. Everything is designed so this machine performs quietly, very little vibration, and it does what it's supposed to do. The isolators, again, they're not the width of my finger, they're about this wide, and heavy duty, 5 years, 5,000 hour warranty on them. But this deck here is also protected by this deck here. It's a 1/4 inch steel plate. What happens with a lot of different orbital machines that are out there, they don't have this same level of protection. So, you know, you're using the machine and you bump against the wall, you know, one time, no problem. But you do it, you know, 20, 30, 40 times, it's kind of like the tires on your car when they get out of balance, right? Now, all of a sudden, your tires start wobbling a little bit. You know, now you're driving the machine and the steering wheel starts shaking a little bit. Well, with this machine, you don't have to worry about that because that deck is so well protected that you're never going to, you know, cause it to go out of alignment. Not only that, but the way that it's built, you know, the bearings, the hub, the isolators, this is not a deck that's easily rattled. So that keeps this machine performing nice, smoothly, quietly for years on end. Everything else applies, you know, same place where you fill the solution, same place where you recover and drain your water, same control panels, battery shield technology. This, you know, same thing here, just like on the wet dry vac, automotive seal throughout. So it's again, it's all heavy duty. It's designed to last. The beauty about these machines is that, you know, for what you get, you can put our scrubbers up against any scrubber on the market, and we can almost certainly win every single time. But we're also at a much better price point. You know, we're not, you know, we maintain a mid-level price point on our units. So we have, you know, we can go up against the Tennants and Milfists of the world, and, you know, we get in front of a customer and go over all the features and the quality of the build, and we'll win almost every single time. And we'll also come in at a lower price in most instances. All right, so what was that, Dave? How many more minutes?
7 minutes.
7 minutes. All right, so we do have a rider. I was hoping to have the rider here, but I had a customer buy it about a week ago, and so I'll have to have another one on order, and you know, I would love to bring that in. It's a really nice rider. You know, sticking to those principles of simplicity. The pad drivers, you just you know, put them underneath where the pad drives are at, and you click a button, drops down, automatically engages them. Easy to disengage. The unit has, you know, chemical metering system option, same battery shield option. So when it comes to you know, someone that's looking for bigger platform rider, we have those available as well. So these come in 20, 28, 32. And then we also have the riders, which are 28, and they're available both in disc as well as orbital. Misting machine. So this is a nice little unit because you know, you can go in there with the battery options, and you're gonna have to go back and forth, even the backpacks back and forth. This here has a 15-gallon capacity. It's got a compressor on it, which allows this unit to basically dispense at 15 microns. Everything that I have covered today, you know, I've given a fairly decent overview, but you can watch some, you know, really professional videos that have been scripted and designed to cover all the main points on the machine. When you go to visit our website, which is pacificfloorcare.com, and let's say, you know, hey, I forget what Armando said about that, you know, vacuum, but I'd like to kind of refresh my memory on it. You'll actually watch a really, really nice video on that vacuum with all the key selling points that would be, you know, important to the end user. Same thing for this one here. You know, you've got a 15-gallon capacity that once you fill this and you start dispensing at 15 microns, you can use this for 3.5 hours with nonstop. So if you're thinking locker rooms, you know, gymnasiums, I mean, anything that needs to be disinfected, you want to go ahead and spray. You just plug in your compressor, very easy to use, turn it on, and you know, go to town. You have this two options. You have a 100-foot extension and you have a 150-foot extension. So again, parking your machine, you can basically move in any direction and get a lot of spraying done. I think I've got a little bit of water on there. So let's see here. I can plug it in real quick, and you guys can see how this works. Okay, I'm going to move this machine out, which may make it or put it a little bit out of sight, but what you need to see is the mist, so that you know, we should still be able to see that.
No, they can see it.
You can see it? All right, perfect.
Yeah, I got you.
All right. So, okay. Turn this on. We're going to go ahead and lock this here. Pressure is building up. And now, when we miss, I mean, you can get a lot of area covered. And because it's a fine mist like this, it's going to basically do a nice job covering everything as well. So that's how quiet this is. Turn it off, and then just to release the pressure, right there, and you're done. It comes set from the factory at all the right settings. You don't really have to mess around with everything, but the manual does show you, you know, if for whatever reason the pressure is not supposed to be, you've got a couple of gauges here. It shows you how to make those adjustments. Any questions? Any questions on the mister, the scrubbers, or anything else that we've covered today? All right, well, that's maybe about, I don't know, 70% of the product range, or Pacific's product range. There's a lot more. Please take the time to take advantage of the Learn and Earn program. So I would highly recommend that everyone takes the time this week to log on. Normally, it's a 90-day period from the time that you get your certificate. For GEM, we've extended that all the way through the end of the year. So, you know, just keep tabs on everything that you sell. Once you get all your certificates, that's basically when the countdown starts. And anything that you sell from then and there, at the end of the year, you go ahead and submit a form, which I brought with me. Let's see here. It's a very simple form. You submit that form to Pacific, and it just asks for the part number, the model, the quantity sold. You put down, you know, what the spiff is. They'll verify the total spiff, the dealer invoice number, and the invoice date. So you fill out this form, and you know, they'll go ahead and Pacific will send you a check. So we have a great opportunity to make a substantial amount of money. We've had some dealer reps that have made you know, 5,000 plus in a year. So it's a really nice opportunity to make some extra money. Any questions? Any other questions? Anybody online?
Can you give us some insight on lead times and things like that for certain pieces and any issues?
Yep.
Pieces you're having issues with?
Absolutely. So like every manufacturer in the industry right now, you know, there are extended lead times. I think Pacific has fared better off than most other manufacturers because a lot of them are getting their components from China and other places. Almost everything that we manufacture, especially on the scrubber side of the business, comes from the US. Some components like vacuum motors, almost every quality manufacturer will get vacuum motors from Italy, right? Most of our components come either from the US or from Europe. We have very few components that actually come from China, which has helped our lead times not be as extensive as some other manufacturers. I will say that our wet dry vac, it is pretty extensive because we've made the decision as a company that rather than because we make those rotomolds, I mean, these are made here as well in our factory, rather than invest that time and the labor for the wet dry vacs, we're going to invest it on what's going to make you the most money and what makes us the most money as well, which is our core items, which is the scrubbers. So we're utilizing the capacity that we have at the factory for scrubbers more than we are for wet dry vacs. As you guys know, there's no single manufacturer in the industry that makes every single item, you know, in their repertoire. So we do have a couple of items that are buy sell. All those are readily available, like the sweepers, yeah. So lead times, you know, something like a scrubber might be 3 to 4 weeks or 4 weeks. Let's just say 4 weeks right now because, you know, just production and getting things moving and making sure that we have all the components. But we've heard from some of our competitors that, I mean, they're, you know, several months out. So, you know, it's a good opportunity to go out there and be able to get in front of the customers and actually take advantage of them not being able to get something from somewhere else to sell our equipment, introduce our equipment. And not only that, but they're going to be happier because it's a high quality built machines.
Kathy Doobie wants to know, can you use any product in the misting machine, or is there specific products?
No, I mean, you can use more or less any product. It's not proprietary. So you can use whatever it is that you're using now that you're able to mist, you can use with the misting machine.
I think Bobby opened up his mic a couple times and he has something to say or a question.
Okay, Bobby?
No, I was just waiting till it was over. But thank you. If it's over, thank you, Armando. I appreciate you doing this. And thank you to Dave also, and then everybody who attended. Appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank you, Armando.
Also, just real quick, we've made a pretty significant investment as a company in this equipment by bringing a lot of it in. So a lot of what you're showing here is in stock.
That's right.
So that's cool. It's always nice to have stuff in stock.
Absolutely. So there is quite a bit in inventory. So when we go out there and sell it, you know, we know that we can deliver it to our customers. You know, I'd like to thank everyone as well for your time. I look forward to working with you all. Any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. I do have another gentleman that works with me, so there's actually 2 of us. So if I can't get to you, Jay can actually support you as well. So Jay and I work hand in hand on the Pacific line. We cover the state of Florida, but we're both here to support you as best as we can. Please don't hesitate to reach out with any questions, or if we can help out, assist with any demos or any opportunities. Thank you.
Thanks, Armando.
All right.